I hope you can pick it up loud and clear. You know you don't like weak women, you get bored so quick. And you don't like strong women because they're hip to your tricks. Okay, anyway, hello everyone. It's rather bright. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, that's better. All right, well, people watching this recording, it's 5 o'clock. My class is from 5 to 7, and just so you know, I live in Santa Cruz, and this is the week that Santa Cruz happened to be covered in fires. There's a CZU something something or another fire, and see if I can. It looks so shiny on here. What's that about? There's a CZU fire going on, and so there is just smoke aplenty outside, and do something about the brightness. It is a bit better though, right? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because my backlight's not strong. You think? Well, anyway, the CZU fire is there's just smoke aplenty everywhere. Smoke aplenty everywhere. This is fine. Smoke aplenty everywhere right now, and my house, like sometimes there's so much smoke downstairs that I have to put this mask on, and sometimes I've just been doing work like this all day with my mask on, and it's driving me crazy. Like, you can't work like this. It's really hard to do schoolwork and breathe in smoke all day. So yeah. So anyway, I don't know if people are coming to my. Oh look, you know it's the funniest thing in the world that the moment I say I don't know if anybody's coming, somebody pops in. It's the funniest thing. Okay, so why don't we just wait a little bit to see if people show up, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my little setup thing going on here. Let me turn this fan away from me as well so you don't hear this fan. And I'm just gonna check a couple of things about this camera, see if I can do something about the brightness. And then we'll get started in 1 second on our material today. And I should just say our material today, oh, can't do that yet. Oh, can't change the camera, okay. Well, anyway, I was gonna say our material today is on, we're gonna do some real meditation today. So this is all about learning how to meditate, to get in touch with your feelings. And this is part of a 4-part class on, which I call Emotions for Dummies, which is designed to take you from someone who maybe doesn't know anything about feelings to someone who can say, this is a feeling, I may not like it, but I can handle this. So this class, we are learning, well, we'll go through what we're learning today and what we learned in the previous classes. We'll go through all that in 1 second. Let me just make sure video camera's good. Okay. I got some new equipment, so that's why I'm just making sure. Whoever is here listening to my words, feel free to, type in how you're feeling today or talk about how you're feeling today. If you can put those feelings into words, that would be great. Feel free to share. If you're not feeling that, feel free to just, hang back. This class is designed, or just opened on its own. It must be windy. The class is designed to be very relaxing. There's a lot of craziness going on right now, and you may or may not want to read along with the handouts and things that we're gonna be using. So if not, that's cool. You can just relax. You can only access your feelings when you're really in a relaxed place. And so it's important for us to cultivate spaces of safety inside ourselves for dealing with our feelings. And I'm saying this right now as someone who is literally looking out of my window and seeing lots and lots of fire smoke from the CZU fire. So, okay. So I really need this today. This is really for me also. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Let me get my life together, okay? Oh, there's a lot of options here. Let me see. So let's pick screen 2, which is you here. Okay. And I'm going to go to my tab, which contains, so let me just say who I am, because I don't think I said anything about that yet, but my name is Donovan Caesar, birth name. And I got it, my name is now Dr. Donny, because I got it legally changed to just Donny. Got my last name removed 3 months ago. And I am a sociology professor at CSU East Bay in Hayward. I'm going up for tenure in 1 month, actually. My research focus is on adult youth power dynamics. I also teach classes in race, class, gender, sexuality, all that good stuff. My research looks at adult youth power dynamics, or what's called adultism. And in that process, I've become, because of that process and some personal life stuff that happened to me, I ended up getting involved in what's called social emotional learning, which is all about getting in touch with your feelings, getting in touch with your thoughts and feelings. Yeah. And so I am the author of this workbook here called The Book of You, which actually, let me find the, I decided, I found this, oh, here we go. Here we go. So this workbook here is got a whole series of exercises to help you with your thoughts and feelings. I'll just go to the table of contents right now. And I put this together over the course of 2 years of learning how to heal from my own childhood wounds that came up to the surface as a result of some family secrets. And it's a really wonderful resource for just getting in touch with yourself. So part 1 here is basically makes up the stuff we're doing in this class. And part 2 here is inner child work, which is part of my advanced Emotions for Dummies class. Okay. But I put all this material together in a handout that's called Emotions for Dummies for a reason. Here we go. Okay, so let me go ahead and send the link for Emotions for Dummies. And if you are interested in taking the advanced material, I will also feel free to sign up for that as well in the future if you would like the extra work. Let me put that in the chat box. Let me grab that chat box. Here we go. Feel free to share that with people, share it with your friends, print it out. Okay. Okay, so on week 1, we went through a whole self-care plan. We talked about what do you do when you get triggered? What do you do when you feel like you can't handle something? What do you do when you feel like you're about to cry? What are your honest go-tos? And what are your, what would be healthier options? Okay, we did that. I led everyone through an introduction on how to meditate. And we did an exercise on how to tell yourself the truth, which is all about looking at anger, hurt, fear, understanding, and love. And then we had an exercise on dealing with trauma, as well as we discussed talking about trauma, as well as some exercises on how to release trauma, like tapping, for example, or moving your eyes side to side, which is called EMDR, or trauma yoga, poses, that kind of thing. Whole bunch of wonderful stuff. Please look at that. Okay. Last week, Which last week was something because I believe the power went out because of the fires and the whatnot. So, oh, no. It wasn't the fire. It was the rolling blackout because of the heat before the lightning strikes happened, which then led to the fires. Yes. So, what a week, huh? So what I remember is we had a list of emotions. We talked about emotions. You can put them into words. Often we only have very few words to talk about our feelings. So there's a whole list of emotions there you can look at to help you put your feelings into more words. And then we did a meditation, a self-love, acceptance, validation meditation. Okay, that was a really good thing. It was all about taking your feelings, taking something that's bugging you, and taking it from hate all the way up to love. Okay, breaking it down into different steps, but taking it from hate all the way up to love. Okay, and then we went through a Byron Katie Judger neighbor worksheet, which is all about taking statements about what's bugging you, and then taking those statements, asking, is it true? And then turning those statements around, so it's about the other or about the opposite of the statement. So if I said, I can't stand how smoky it is right now, I would go, I can't stand how smoky it is right now. Is it true? Yes. I can't stand how smoky it is right now. Can you absolutely know that's true? Well, no, because I'm still alive. If I couldn't stand, I would have fallen over by now because of the smokiness. I have not fallen over yet. I guess I can stand it. I just don't like it. Okay. How do you react when you believe that thought? When I believe the thought, I can't stand the smokiness, I am just ready to give up. I am angry. I'm angry, frustrated. And who would you be without that thought? Without the thought, I can't stand it anymore? Who would I be without that thought? Well, I guess without that thought, I would have to acknowledge I'm just frustrated, that I'm trying to manage my frustration with that thought, with trying to complain. I'm trying to manage my frustration by trying to complain. Not really being nice to myself, I guess, by doing that. If I was going to be honest. Okay, well, anyway, well, this is good. This is the process. This is the point. And so the turnaround to that is, okay, I'm frustrated. I mean, I can't stand how smoky it is outside. Okay, so the turnarounds are, the first one is make it to the self. I can't stand how smoky I am right now. My thinking can't stand how smoky it is outside right now. And then you look for any way in which these turnarounds are true. And the goal, it's an open-mindedness exercise. So the idea is to find at least one way it's true. Okay, well, it's definitely true that my thinking about this, my thinking can't stand the smokiness anymore. I'm constantly thinking about this smokiness. I'm constantly thinking about how the smoke affects my health. I'm constantly thinking about how it's getting in the way of my work. I'm constantly judging people on whether they're wearing masks or not wearing masks, or the looks they're giving me, because I still have an N95 mask here. I have lots of thoughts about the smokiness. I'm having a hard time just letting it go and being like, oh, well, there's a fire. Oh, well, it'll be okay. Having a hard time with that. Okay. That's not about the fire. That's about my thoughts about the fire. Because actually, the fire itself, I haven't put much thought into at all. All I can see out of my window is just this one little spot where there's a lemon tree, and the lemon tree is not in any smoke. And then there's a much bigger tree in the background. The bigger tree is covered in smoke. That's all I can really see. It's just the sky, the background and the sky covered in smoke. But that's enough to send me into all this thinking and worrying and thoughts, all these thoughts. Okay, so that's true. My thinking can't stand how smoky it is. Okay. Since I said smoky, I don't know if I can turn that around to another person, but an opposite of that would be, well, my thinking can stand how smoky it is. Wait, let's try this. My thinking can't stand how clear it is. My thinking can't stand how clear it is. Any truth in that? Yes, because if it got really smoky, I would evacuate by now. And I guess I'd be, trying to survival situation, hunker down in a shelter, which would be a very different situation than me being in my apartment trying to go on with life as normal and seeing the smoke. That's definitely true. So I can't stand how clear it is right now. That's also true. That's also true. Okay, so that's how the Byron Katie Judge Your Neighbor worksheet works. Okay, but go back and look at the worksheet. Feel free to watch a YouTube video demonstrating Byron Katie demonstrating how it works. Today, week 3, we are doing an emotional meditation, meditating on emotions, and then we will have a body scan meditation, which will take our emotional meditation to a deeper level. Okay, so for the rest of the class, which is the next hour and 45 minutes, it's all going to be meditating, okay? Hearing my lovely, sexy voice and meditating on your feelings, okay? Okay, and that's because next week, our final week, is the ego killer exercise where we put all of this stuff together. And it's a really wonderful exercise for teaching everybody how to process your feelings in a really systematic, successful, concrete way. Okay, so that's what this is all building towards next week. Oh, my TV's on upstairs. Hold on. My TV's connected to my phone, so I think if I turn, wait, here it is. Okay. Okay, this is all building towards next week. But today is all about meditating. So good. I like week 3 because week 3 is all about just meditating. So feel free to flip through all of this on your own time. We're gonna get straight to the emotional stuff. And I'll just say, since we're talking about emotions, this is about your feelings. So your feelings come first. If you feel like reading along, great. If you don't feel like reading along, you are free to lie down, relax. I almost did this from bed, to be honest with you. I could still do it from bed if I wanted to, but I'm already down here, and my water's down here. So. My fizzy water. So, yeah, whatever you need to feel comfortable, just do it, okay? You can always read this stuff later. Whatever you need to feel comfortable, just go for it. And I always say, if you want to start the meditation, anytime you want to go into meditation, always begin with your breath. The breath is the entry point to all meditation. You are breathing whether you acknowledge it or not, you are breathing. And your heart is also beating whether you acknowledge it or not. But it can be hard to tap into your heartbeat. But it's much easier to tap into your breath. So just notice your breath. Bring some mindfulness to your breath. Is your breath deep, shallow? Is it in the chest? Is it in the belly? Can you slow down your breath? Sorry, I'm just clicking a couple of things here. Can you slow down your breath? 1 second at a time. And you know what? Just notice if you're feeling anything right now. Just scan your head, scan your heart, scan your whole body. Okay, and just stay in that space while I read these words. Emotions are a fundamental part of how we develop knowledge to understand ourselves and the world. They determine the quality of our lives. Some people call emotions the guideposts of life because they teach us what our boundaries are. In fact, you could say that every day, every moment, we live in an emotional universe that uses how we feel to guide us through life. We know this because there is an emotional communication always taking place alongside any verbal or other communication. There is always what is said and what is felt. Or, as the late great Maya Angelou used to say, people may forget what you said, they may even forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Emotions are part of the deeper back brain of your limbic system, amygdala, and most importantly, the heart. The heart is actually surrounded by several neurons that control your heartbeat and your feelings. These are the parts of you that were around when you were a tiny baby and did not have a developed prefrontal cortex. As a baby, you were born completely helpless, yet highly emotionally developed. So as babies, we all struggle to deal with intense emotions even when we can barely think or control our bodies. This is very true if you watch a baby. They make all sorts of struggles. Thus, emotional recognition and connection is fundamental to life. This is why babies need loving touch in order to survive, and why love is a deep need for all of us. While our brain can do a lot of thinking, unfortunately, it cannot determine the difference between reality and what we perceive as reality, meaning what we believe to be true is true for us. Thus, our emotional system can only respond to our thoughts, giving them an emotional weight. This means fundamentally, emotions are always the byproduct of something you are thinking. I didn't believe this until I tested it out and it appears to be true. We have a thought about something and then we produce a feeling in relation to that thought. So we think, I hate broccoli, then we see broccoli and feel sick. Without the thought happening first, there could not be an emotional reaction. Even if you get a sudden emotional reaction like the creeps or a bad vibe, even if you are totally right about the person or situation, your reaction is still in response to a thought you had first, even if the thought was unconscious. Some of our most powerful emotional reactions are from our unconscious thoughts. We produce a feeling so that we are prompted into action, like saying, I won't eat it, or running away. Since feelings determine our quality of life, it's always think, feel, act, have. Think, feel, act, have. Many of us, and especially if you were born male, are taught not to feel in our society. All of us on some level have been taught to suppress, deny, or evade emotions because they are inconvenient, too difficult, or secondary to our other life responsibilities. When we don't feel our emotions, they build up and turn into icebergs. A little on top can mean a lot underneath. Since our feelings are our connection to our true self, not listening to your feelings is a kind of self-abandonment. Your own feelings may not trust you and hide behind walls. You may go into denial or develop secondary emotions that cover up the emotions you can't handle, like getting angry when you're hurt or afraid when you are vulnerable. Ooh, little flies everywhere here. You may also become extremely judgmental, feel numb all the time, develop addictions, or pursue unhealthy relationships. I complained about every single one of those things today, being an LGBT person. Becoming an adult involves taking responsibility for yourself, being financially independent, making your own mistakes, letting go of other people's responsibilities, and taking responsibility for our own feelings. Everyone's emotional universe is independent from each other until we take on others' feelings. If you have been through anything traumatic or your boundaries were ever majorly violated, your emotional guidance system can go haywire. Trauma disrupts how the two parts of your brain interact and can lead to hyperarousal, obsessive thinking, and memory emotional flashbacks that can severely disrupt your sense of reality. Abuse, or emotional boundary violations, can teach us to accept self-boundaries that leave us hurt, afraid, or empty. If we were not taught how to deal with our feelings, then this damage can lay underneath. Oh man, with these fruit flies. Ooh, I can't. Ooh, so sorry. So sorry. You know what? I'll put this fan here. There we go. Yeah, let's try that again. Abuse, or emotional boundary violations, can teach us to accept self-boundaries that leave us hurt, afraid, or empty. If we were not taught how to deal with our feelings, then this damage can lay underneath any kind of healthy boundaries we use to build our adult lives. Emotions all come from the same place. It's not like some come from the heart and some come from your butt. So this means that when you block yourself from feeling an emotion, like something traumatic, you block yourself from feeling all your other emotions too. So feeling our emotions, whatever they are, is an important part of developing a healthy connection with our inner self. Or we have to feel all our feels so that we can heal. We have to feel all our feels so that we can heal. In Buddhism, sitting with our feelings, whatever they are, without trying to fight, change, or deny them is called the practice of equanimity. For example, if I felt angry, but I couldn't call it anger, it might be called hurt. If I couldn't call it hurt, it might be fear. If I kept digging like this, it would become stuck, then uncomfortable, just a feeling I don't like, a feeling, just what is, then nothingness. However, this old school approach only detaches from thoughts and feelings momentarily and often only looks like silence and peace, or what's called spiritual bypassing. Not only does this not teach us how to feel our feelings, but if the majority of our thoughts are negative, just sitting in silence can re-trigger all the negative feelings associated with those thoughts, at worst making meditation a re-traumatizing experience. Since feelings come from the heart, not the brain, we can instead sit with our heart and feelings and process them directly. This is called emotional meditation or emotional Vipassana. Our emotional universe works generally in terms of negative and positive. So while there are many emotions, all emotions have their opposite. Feeling through the emotion and its opposite can retrain your emotional guidance system by breaking old or distorted thought-feeling patterns. Instead of judging our emotions as good, bad, right, wrong, it may be better to see our emotions as an infinite palette of different colors. And each experience of our emotional universe brings us closer to a full painting of life. Simply building our capacity to feel can greatly help us to deal with all of our thoughts and feelings, allowing us space to love ourselves and take greater responsibility for what we feel. Okay, so let's continue with the meditation. At this point, all sorts of things might have come up in your mind. So just notice, are you in your mind? Or can you sink back down into your heart? Why don't we pick a feeling? Let's pick an emotion. If I asked you, how are you feeling today? you know, not a bullshit ask, but a real, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. I'm looking at you in the eyes. I stop everything I'm doing and I go, hey, how are you feeling today? You go inside, and what would your answer be to that question? And whatever it is, which my answer would be, I'm kind of frustrated and tired. I worked all day today on my Saturday, and I have to work all day tomorrow. And I worked all day while breathing in smoke, toxic smoke, which I just heard on the news is the most toxic air in the world right now. Yeah, that says something. Yeah. Huh. So frustrated and tired is how I feel. So okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. So frustrated and tired. Can you just sit with that? Whatever came up for you, can you just sit with the feeling? We're not here to judge it, right or wrong. We're not here to change how we feel about the feeling. Just sit with it for a bit. What does this feeling feel like inside of you? Can you describe it? Scan your head, scan your heart, scan your arms and legs, your stomach. What did I pick? Frustrated and tired. What does that feel like for me? Frustrated and tired feels like I feel like a churning in my brain. I feel this pressure in my head. I feel this like, mm, mm, I feel this like draining feeling, like right where my eyes are. My shoulders are slumping. I still got this energy in my legs, like I got something to do, but I don't feel like doing anything. I just feel this like I'm sitting, I'm not moving. I'm like I'm trapping some energy inside me in my leg. You know, if you're having trouble feeling your feeling, one thing you can do is imagine a situation where you would experience that feeling. Like if you worked all day long and still had more to go, and you were constantly flipping to the news to find out that all this natural disasters that's happening right next to where you live. Stress somebody out, wouldn't it? That'd make you pretty frustrated and tired, huh? Okay. Now, if you couldn't put a label or a story around this feeling, if I couldn't call it frustrated and tired, if I couldn't call it frustrated and tired for the school and the CZU fire, if I had to just sit with the feeling, what does this feel like? Okay, and if you can sit with that. One thing you can do in this exercise is to say, if you couldn't call it frustrated and tired, I would call it this is the practice of equanimity. If I couldn't call it frustrated and tired, it would be exhausted. If I couldn't call it exhausted, it would be oh wow. If I couldn't call it exhausted, it would be giving up. Giving up. If I couldn't call it giving up, it would be rest. If I couldn't call it rest, it would be, well, maybe sleep. If I couldn't call it sleep, it would be that's it, nothing. What is sleep? It's nothing. That's the beauty of sleep. Thank God for sleep. Okay, let that feeling, whatever came up for you, just let it sink down even deeper into your heart. That's the whole idea behind the practice of equanimity. It's just to keep untangling it, untangling that feeling. Okay. Okay, now take a deep breath there. Shake it off. We won't shake it off in the future. For this one exercise, just shake it off for a bit. And then ask yourself, what is the opposite of that feeling? So that might be, I said frustrated and tired, so that might be energetic and inspired. Okay. So that would be mine. Pick whatever you need to pick for you, the opposite of the feeling, and let yourself feel that one. If it helps, imagine a situation. What would help me right now is I see a whole caravan of people with masks on, and they're throwing them out to people who don't have them and telling them, please wear the mask. We want you to live. We care about you. And they're throwing out the masks. And you know, everyone in my apartment complex is knocking on each other's doors, asking if everyone's okay, which is the literal opposite of what happened. Okay, inspired, energetic and inspired. I'm moved. I'm so moved by everybody's kindness that I spend my own money buying masks and going out and helping other people too. And okay, energetic and inspired. Let yourself feel it. See if you can describe it. You know, it feels light. You know, I can feel my brain kind of opening up a little, instead of feeling kind of squunched up. My eyes kind of, again, they feel a little more like relaxed. My chest lifted, a little hope in my heart. Yeah, I feel lighter. Like overall, I don't feel so weighed down. Bring that feeling into your heart. Bring it deeper into your heart. And if I couldn't call it inspired, energetic, if I couldn't call it inspired and energetic, that would be, my word for that is maybe like feisty. Feisty. If I couldn't call it feisty, fiery. If I couldn't call it fiery, I want to say like saintly, saintly. Well, I'd say brightly maybe, and then maybe I'd say holy, and then maybe I'd say saintly. Huh. If I couldn't call it saintly, it would be kind. Couldn't call it kind. I guess nice. If I couldn't call it nice, I'd say right. If I couldn't call it right, I'd say maybe logical or appropriate. If I couldn't call it appropriate, Judgment. Judgment. If I couldn't call it judgment, I call it a ruling. And if I couldn't call it a ruling, dominating. King, I say king, and I couldn't call it king, it'd be dominating. Couldn't call it dominating. It would be control. If I couldn't call it control, If I couldn't call it control, it would be giving up control. Or I guess release. And if I couldn't call it release, it would be accepting of life. And if I couldn't call it accepting, it would be life. And if I couldn't call it life, it would be what is. And if I couldn't call it what is, it would be nothingness. Now that taught me something important there, which is that I judge people about this mask thing a lot. And that all that is my judgment on top of managing coronavirus. And I'm stressing myself out. Not only is the not wearing masks stressing me out, but that I'm dealing with it by being judgmental, which just makes it worse. Okay. Okay, so you see how this works. Okay, now there's some other things we can try here too. In fact, number 5 is to let's do some validation. Going through that whole range from frustrated and tired to inspired and energetic, that was quite the range. That was the whole range of your whole emotional universe. So it's important to give ourselves some validation for digging into our feelings. So I can say something like, I have every right to feel the way I feel about being frustrated and tired. I have every right to feel the way I feel about being inspired or energetic. Anyone who went through what I went through, anyone who is going through what I am going through would feel that way. I don't totally understand why I feel so frustrated and tired right now, and I don't have to. I can give it time and space. I can sleep on it. I don't totally understand why I can't make myself feel as inspired and energetic as I want, and I don't have to. I can rest, give it time and space. I don't need anyone's approval to be okay with how I feel, my feelings of frustration and tiredness. And I don't need anyone's approval either for my feelings of energetic, whatever else I said, energetic and inspired. I let go of frustratedness and tiredness. I let go of inspired and energetic. I let go of everything because love is letting go. Okay. And you should give yourself whatever validation statements work for you. Those are just some to help you get started in the process. Okay, and then if you ever want to take this to a more advanced level, just know you can ask yourself when you felt this feeling as a child. Like if I dug into when was the first time I felt frustrated and tired, I can immediately tell you a story of being 6, trying to explain, hearing my mother nag me about gender roles and how boys do this and girls do this. But I really wanted to do the girl thing, and either way, I see myself as a boy and a girl. And you know, and that I always have. And realizing she was not supportive of that vision at all. Okay. Okay. So so anyway, you can ask yourself, when was the first time you felt this as a child? That brings even more stuff up. You can find something good about the negative emotion and something bad about the positive emotion. So that's important because we often have a strong tendency to treat our positive emotions as the things we want and our negative emotions as the things to avoid. So consequently, we never really get around to tackling the complexity of our negative feelings because we're so invested in avoiding them. So if you try to find good things about the negative, it can actually help you to grow. So, and bad things about the positive. So a good thing about being frustrated and tired is I'm learning my limits. A good thing is it tells me when to rest. It tells me how I may be wasting my energy, how I could maybe go about it a better way. So it's opening me up to being more creative in an everyday, very practical way. Okay, those are all good things. Okay, now what's a bad thing about being inspired and energetic? You may be so inspired, you know, people on a mania attack are inspired and energetic. They super clean their whole house, or they super clean their whole house, but maybe they don't, engage with another human being for weeks at a time. Or maybe they super clean their whole house, but then there's a crash that comes afterwards. Those would be negatives. Maybe you're so inspired by something, you're not willing to even do the real work of investigating it and really understanding the complexity behind it, or understanding what's going on underneath the surface. Maybe your engagement with it is very superficial because you're inspired. It's making you feel good. You're not willing to dig underneath the surface. Maybe you're afraid even to dig underneath the surface because you need that feel good. Sort of like seeing inspiration as like a fix, an addiction. I need something to inspire me all the time because otherwise I would feel down. Maybe. That's food for thought. Ooh, okay. Okay, so that's one exercise. Okay. I'm going to pause for a second here, see if anybody has anything you want to say, address, bring up. Give ourselves a minute, maybe just to sit with all of that for a bit before we dig even deeper. Turn this fan down. We'll turn it off for a little bit. Get some silence going for a little bit. Something's coming up for me. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Going through that list of negative things about the positive thing just now. I could be one of those people addicted to inspiration. I'm always trying to find something to I'm not always, but I mean, I definitely live my life through feeling inspired, and I always see that as a good thing. But I just opened up to seeing the flip side, that there are negative things to that too. What happens the moment you don't feel inspired anymore? Do you stick it out, or do you just say screw this and quit and go do something else that might inspire you? One thing I acknowledged earlier about me is that I tend to really focus on things I know I'm very good at, or things that I see myself becoming good at pretty quickly. Anything I've ever done in life that took a long time to get good at, I have often did it for a little bit and then abandoned it because it frustrated me too much. No, that's another way of saying I didn't have the patience for it. And that there's a lot of not having patience for people, myself, that I can point to in my life. And it's been, has made life harder than it needed to be. Especially my love life, oh my God. Man. I almost want to say patience and perfectionism, which kind of relates to this inspired business too, like this idea of, you know, this ideal person maybe I hold on to is someone who is making things happen in the world and living a life of such great purpose. And all that sounds nice. It's just, is any of that real? You know, whatever purpose you make for your life, you know, let's say I'm the CEO of a social emotional learning company and I'm teaching meditations to millions of people around the world and I'm doing the work with people and it's you know, all this stuff happens. There's still going to be the moment after when I need to just, you know, I have to go to the bathroom. I have to eat, chew. I have to go to bed, you know. I have to masturbate and go to bed. I'm still, I'm just, you know, just normal life, you know, whatever happens. I still have to walk out of my house and walk to the car, put the shoes on 1 foot at a time, put the sandals on one slipper at a time, feed the cat. Just ordinary life, nothing special. You get old, everything that comes with that. I mean, that's real life. That's going with real life instead of holding on to these feelings of trying to, using your positive feelings as a sort of addiction, as a drug to help get you through life. You know, I guess I could also say finding those good things about being frustrated was good to hear also, because it made me realize that all these efforts are not for nothing. I could use my frustration to listen to myself a lot better instead of just getting frustrated and then, you know, reaching for marijuana or a drink or chips. Ooh, okay. So why don't we move on to the next exercise? I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you to myself for that talk down. I needed that. Okay, so let's go on to the next exercise. The next exercise takes us to the next level by essentially, we're gonna take the sinking into our body part, we're gonna do it for our whole body. Okay, so just stay in your meditation, stay wherever you are in your zone, whatever that is for you. I'll read this next set of words here. And this comes from 2 books I put together. One is Bessel van der Kolk's The Body Keeps the Score. And the other is Cloud and Townsend's Boundaries. So The Body Keeps the Score is a book all about how does emotional memory connect to the body? Okay, and then the book on boundaries is all about boundaries. It's all defining what they are, how to make them, keep them, maintain them healthy. Never actually had a book that straight up talked about boundaries. So the moment I cracked that book open, I was just dumbfounded how I never had a discussion about that with myself. That was last summer. It's been a year. A year of building healthy boundaries. Highly recommended. Okay, and then it also comes from Psalm Isadora's Tantra, the Art of Sacred Sexuality. Psalm Isadora, I guess, was a Tantra instructor, sex instructor, who unfortunately passed away or was murdered some years ago, a couple of years ago. And she has some wonderful videos on YouTube about Tantra that really inspired me. So I'm just so thankful for her brief presence in my life. Online. Okay. Our feelings make up our emotional universe, but feeling is not just an emotional state, it is also our bodily sensations. I can activate the feelings in my right toe by just thinking about it. I can describe what I feel as a feeling, like calm, hurt, inspired, or as a sensation, burning, soreness, tight. I can go further and describe the feeling in terms of size, movement, shape, or any other quality. I can go from my right toe all the way up to my head, taking in each body part. This is known as a body scan meditation, which comes from the school of Tantra, a philosophy that is about seeing the body as a spiritual place of energy transference. Our higher power gave us a body so we can take in and give out the energy of the universe, fulfilling our life's purpose. By doing a body scan, we can greatly examine our emotions through the brain-body connection. In terms of evolution, human beings have the same basic senses, emotions, and physical reactions as all the other mammals. Like our hair stand up when we're afraid, or we snarl when we're enraged. But we have a larger frontal lobe, and so a greater capacity to think. However, since our brain is still 80% emotional and unconscious, our animal nature will always win out over our willpower 4 out of 5 times. Modern psychology has found that while the body cannot think, it does keep score by holding both emotional energy and memories. A frightening incident can make you lose your voice, or a pain in your back can be from years of not getting the support you needed. While your rational brain can analyze, justify, and/or dissociate from your experiences, your emotional body cannot. This is why you can't rationally talk yourself out of your feelings, or from what you really want, or who you feel you really are inside. We often use knowledge to fight our body limitations, but as animals, we will always end up compromising between our ideals and what our body can actually handle. Okay, that's just something to take in there. Our body is an important part of understanding our physical and emotional boundaries. A healthy boundary is like a building with doors or a fence with gates. Most of it strongly keeps bad things out, but part of it can deliberately let good things in. Boundaries denote ownership, or what is mine and what is yours. How our bodies were treated as babies and children shape our first emotional boundaries and what to expect from others. Since research has shown that the brain processes emotional pain in the same manner as physical pain, abuse and trauma are by default internal emotional boundary violations. Not feeling accepted or loved can feel like a literal stab in the heart. Our bodies remember the fear, shame of a spanking, even if our brain does not. Since the body will remember the trauma and keep reacting to it, you may lose the ability to distinguish between safety and danger. Always assume danger and then stay stuck in anger or fear. Ooh, that's so true. A lack of safety in our primary relationships can make us into adults who have an impaired sense of inner reality, feel places of deadness or numbness inside, gravitate toward unhealthy situations, and treat ourselves poorly by engaging in risky, self-damaging behavior, making us feel unsafe in our own bodies. Research has even found that babies who are abused can develop infant depression, or constant feelings of terror that can stick with them throughout life. I had something of this that I just worked through over the last 6 months. Long term, all this can lead to migraines, asthma, back pain, headaches, weight gain, poor sleep, and perhaps even irritable bowel syndrome. Healing our brain-body connection means recognizing and naming our physical sensations. We can move past the difficulty of words by engaging in the self-observing body-based system, which speaks through sensations, tone of voice, and body tensions. We can learn to pendulate or move in and out of our body sensations. You start by establishing an inner place of safety, or a place where you can ground yourself when you feel uncomfortable, like focusing on the breath, clenching your hands and feet, tapping. This teaches us to overcome any dissociation we have with our body memories. Making friends with your body also means examining our body narratives, the ways we talk about our body and our body memories, and examining our feelings. Our body's feelings shift constantly. If we develop equanimity and we let ourselves fully experience the feelings, it will eventually shift into something else. It may take you back to a memory or a thought you are holding on to that is not serving you well. Other safe ways of learning how to reconnect to your body are meditation and yoga, because these techniques calm us down and let us check in on our breath and heart rate. While every area of the body is important, there are three key areas to really focus on: the stomach, the heart, and the head. Our stomach has been found to hold neurons that not only control the movement of food, but also our instantaneous bodily responses to fear and safety. This is why we call it the gut brain. Our body can store memories in our gut that tell us to be afraid or careful. Our heart also has neurons that control heartbeat and regulate our emotions. Our heart brain tells us how we feel and holds happiness and sadness. And our head area, including the neck and shoulders, is where most thought happens. This is also where we store anger, frustration, and tension. Like it or not, this body is the only one you're ever going to have, and you have little control over what's going to happen to it. Getting in touch with how we feel about our body is the best we can do to care for ourselves in an immediate and intrinsic way, and to heal our internal emotional boundary violations, and to develop wisdom that moves our lives toward a whole body experience in harmony with the universe. Okay, so the following prompts here for getting in touch with your body are all written in level of intensity. Okay, you are never required to do all of them. Oh, there's a typo right here, all of them. You're never required to do all of them, okay? So we're gonna just treat this as a continuing meditation here, like I said I would, okay? Just check back into that breath. Fast or slow. Watch it come, watch it go. In the chest, in the belly, deep or shallow. Notice your breath, see if you can slow it down. If you like, take in your head, the whole space from the hair on the top of your head to your chin, take it all in. We spend a lot of time in our brains. We spend a lot of time in our brains, so. Take everything you feel up in that space, and I invite you to bring it all down to your feet. Okay, your feet might not have existed until this moment. Bring your feet, bring your conscious awareness to your feet. See if the position of your feet change. What do you feel in your feet in this moment? Large feelings or small feelings, large sensations, burning, soreness, tightness, pleasantness, good or bad. Not here to judge what you feel. If you are willing, I invite you to relax. Relax and sink in. That's our first prompt. Relax and sink in like you're sinking into a jacuzzi. Wherever you feel in your feet, relax and sink in. Slow down to stillness. Go to the next prompt. Sink in and let go. Unrepress. Whatever you feel there, sink in and let go. Drop your defenses. Give up the fight. And the next one's digest. Bring that feeling, whatever you felt in your feet, allow that feeling to flow into your heart. As the heart processes the feelings, bring what you feel in your feet into your heart. Give your feet some heart. Your feet do a lot every day. They don't take breaks. They don't decide to, well, I guess they do. Well, they run out. They run out of energy. They need breaks. Think of how much we do every day with our feet. Imagine if they got annoyed, they got an attitude, an ego, and just walked off. Didn't feel like it today. How much our life would be impaired. Let's bring some love, bring some heart to our feet. Whatever you feel in your feet right now. And this is real love, not that like, Valentine's Day. Oh, thank you, feet. But like real love, like you feel exhausted. Let me sit there with you. Let me feel those cracks and sores. You need lotion? You need lotion in those cracks and sores? I am here next to you. I am here to hold you. I'm here to hold the soreness. I'm here with the lotion. I'm here with all of it. That's love. That's love. Now let that feeling flow even deeper into your gut. Let it go from the heart down into your gut. Then let the feeling bubble out into your legs, going down to the big muscles of your thighs, the big muscles in your behind, your hips. Those muscles can help us process emotions. So let it flow into those big muscles and then bubble up your feet, bubble up your legs, bubble. That feeling you had in your feet, let it bubble up your whole body, your torso, your chest, your head. Let it bubble up, get real big, and push it away. Ooh, and in its place, May we feel love. Okay, that's the process, but we're going to do that from the feet all the way up to our head, okay? Get comfortable. Here we go. Whew. Next is our calves and our knees. And at any time, if you want to get even more connected, you can just put your hands on these body parts. Rub. See what you feel in your calves and your knees in this moment. It might be positive or negative, tightness or lightness. You know, something that needs stretching or something that needs to be relaxed. Whatever you feel in your knees and calves, I invite you to sink in and let go. Slow it all down to stillness. Just let yourself fall into it. Let it all just uncurl on its own. Bring that feeling, whatever it is, into your heart. Get reconnected. Sink it even deeper into your gut. Let it flow into the big muscles in your hips and thighs. Let it bubble up all over your legs. Bubble up your torso, bubble up your head. Get big and push the feeling away. Like you want someone in the next town to feel it. In its space, may where what we felt in our knees and calves be filled with love. Okay, next is our thighs, our hips. Go ahead and include the lower back in that. Thighs, hips, lower back. If you want, you can also include maybe your sex organs in there. We'll save that one for the next one. Let's go with thighs, hips, and lower back. Thighs, hips, your behind, lower back. See what you feel in your thighs, hips, behind, and lower back in this moment. Things may shift when you bring your conscious awareness to them. You may feel soreness, pressure. Things may feel good. Whatever you feel in this space, I invite you to slow it down to stillness and sink in and let go. Let go like you're giving up the remote. The water's just pouring right out of your hand, hitting the ground, nothing you can do about it. You know that moment you hear the click of the roller coaster, They strapped you in, you can't change your mind. They push the button and the roller coaster's taking off. That let go. Sink in and let go. Whatever you're feeling, your hips and thighs, bring that feeling into your heart. Let it sink even deeper into your gut. Let it flow into your legs and thighs, the big muscles. Let it bubble up, bubble up, bubble up all over your body, and push the feeling away. And in this place, may the space of our legs and thighs be filled with love. And next we're going to focus on 3 key areas. The stomach. First is the stomach. This will be the stomach, and we'll go ahead and include our sexual organs, stomach and the sexual organs. It's all kind of generally in the same spot there. Technically, that would be considered different chakras in the chakra system, but in terms of our body scan, it's a general area we can focus on. So focus on that area, your stomach and your sex organs. All sorts of feelings may shift when you focus your conscious attention there. Things you understand or things you may not understand. You may feel tightness, soreness, pressure. You may feel upbeat, inspired, happy, horny. Not here to judge. If it helps, you can put your hand on any of these places also. Not here to judge, just here to notice. And if you are willing, I invite you to sink in and let go. Our gut is where we store fear and safety. So any feelings of fear, safety, the feeling of fear itself, the feeling of safety itself. Let yourself feel it. Sink in and let go. Drop your defenses. Let it uncurl on its own. Bring that feeling into your heart. Whenever you need to help you with a difficult feeling, please do it. Hugs, taps, whatever it is, okay? You don't have to close your eyes either. Bring it even deeper back into the gut. Oh dear. And then let that feeling flow down into the big muscles in your hips and thighs. Let it flow into your feet and bubble up all the way up your knees, your hips, your torso, bubble up your head. Let that feeling get real big and push it away. Oh. Okay, next is our heart. So if you're willing, I invite you to place your hand on your heart. What do you feel in your heart in this moment? Your heart may be all kinds of open, or it might be all kinds of shut down. You may see light and color, you may not see anything, just darkness. Positive or negative feelings, feelings that move, feelings that don't move. Whatever you feel, I invite you to sink in. Oh, excuse me. Sink in and let go. Oh. Drop your defenses over all the resistance. Let it just all uncurl on its own. Use your imagination. Give it what it needs. Maybe something tells you to open a window so your heart can breathe, or plant some flowers there, or share it with another person. Whatever your heart's telling you, use your imagination to give it what it needs. Yeah, you might have flashbacks. Hmm. Whatever you feel in this moment, sink it even deeper into your heart. bottomless pit, bottomless mimosa. Sink these feelings deeper, even deeper into your heart. Let it flow into your gut, flow down into your stomach. And let the, and let the feeling just, holy smokes, let the feeling bubble into your big muscles of your legs and thighs. Let it bubble up, bubble up, bubble up your legs, bubble up your torso, bubble up your head, bubble up your whole body. Get real big and push the feeling away. Place, may our hearts be filled with love. Okay, and then that brings us to our final. Let's try two things. Let's just do this. Let's do our neck and shoulders. And if you want, you can put your hand on your neck and shoulders. Our neck and shoulders is where we store anger, stress, tension. See what you feel in your neck and shoulders in this moment. It might shift as you bring your conscious awareness to it. Whatever you are feeling, I invite you to sink in and let go. Drop your defenses. Let it all fall out of you like a waterfall, like you're holding oily hands and nothing will stay in. Just let it all fall down. Give up the fight. Oh. Whatever you feel in your neck and shoulders, bring it down into your heart. I want to turn this fan on. Getting hot. Bring it into your heart. Let it go down into your gut. Let it flow into the big muscles in your legs and thighs. Let it bubble up your legs, bubble up your legs, bubble up your hips, bubble up your body, bubble up your torso, bubble up your head. Let it get real big and push the feeling away. And in its place, may our neck and shoulders be filled with acceptance, respect, and love. Okay, that brings us to our final one, the head. The head, la tête, cabeza. See what you feel in your head in this moment. You might feel things moving or things that feel stuck. You might feel pressure or lightness. Large feelings or small feelings, whatever you feel in the foreground and the background, I invite you to slow it down to stillness. Sink in and let go. Drop your defenses. Let it all fall like oily hands. You trying to grab something with oily hands. Let it all just fall. Bring this feeling into your heart. Let it cascade down, drip down into your heart. Oh. Oh. Let it flow down into your gut. Let it flow into the big muscles in your legs and thighs. Your hips. Let the feeling bubble up your feet, bubble up your legs, bubble up your torso, bubble up your head, bubble up all over your body. Oh, and push the feeling away. Oh, and in its place where our brains felt whatever it felt, may they be filled with peace, acceptance, respect, and love. And just take in your whole emotional universe from top to bottom, the whole range, taking your whole body. Let's give ourselves some thankfulness for digging this deeply. Thank you for these tears. Thank you for all of my feelings. Thank you for being willing to teach me so much about myself and for putting up with my stubbornness and ego all this time when I didn't listen to you. When I didn't do what was healthy by you. Please forgive me. Okay. Okay, so when you're feeling, well, you're welcome to stay in whatever state you need to be in. You're welcome to stay in the deepness of all of that. Just gonna do a little final words to wrap up here. Okay. Well, I guess one thing I wanted to say is that is the exercise. One other thing you can do to make it more advanced is to give yourself a mantra. So I said, may this space be filled with love. Well, I guess I can put it back on me here. I said, may this space be filled with love, but you could also try just saying, please rest. Going through each body part and saying, please rest. You deserve rest. It is incredible. It's really incredible. Okay. Okay, so that's how the body scan works. That's an emotional meditation and a body scan. So as you can see, you can take any feeling you're having and take it to a way deeper level by allowing yourself to sit with it, sink into it, feel it through your body, and then try the opposite feeling. And that can actually shake up a lot of your thought and feeling patterns. Okay, so this one person who was here said, thank you. You are very welcome. Yeah, so give this a shot. Okay, the idea is to practice this, and the real idea is to practice it on every feeling, because you probably should, right? And the other idea is to at least try this for anger, hurt, fear, understanding, and love, because those are the main ones we did in the How to Tell Yourself the Truth exercise. Okay. Okay, and then next week, this time next week, I will run the final exercise, which is called the Ego Killer, which puts all of this together. So please come for that. Okay, well, that's class for today. Anybody watching this, feel free to shoot me an email. And hopefully you can share this with other people and help other people get their feelings together, okay? I make this stuff freely available. but I can just say from personal experience in my own life, people only deal with their feelings when they're ready. So I'm just putting this stuff out there and really focusing on healing me, and hopefully someone else got something good out of this, okay? Okay. Namaste, no mistake. Good luck, everyone. Good luck taking care of your emotional life. No one else is gonna do it for you. Good luck with the fires. Good luck with life. Good luck with death. Good luck with everything. Okay. I'll see you next week.